change according to time and place. Moving on now to Islam. How does Islam look at this whole subject of what is good and bad, and how does it deal with different issues? And to give you a more rounded view of how the Sharia deals with. I'm only going to look at 2 examples, and then we can expand in question and answer time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions in the Quran, وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌّ لَكُمْ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. This is a verse of the Quran, for those of you who are not Muslim. Translated to the nearest meaning, this is not accurate because the Arabic language is a lot more richer than English. It's translated to, and it may happen that anything may be disliked by you, and that it may be in your favor. So something may be disliked by you, but it's good for you. And it may be that something is liked by you, but is not good for you. Allah, He knows better than all of you. So in Islam, this verse, what it's telling us is that mankind doesn't know what is good or bad. He has a subjective view of what is good and what is bad. And in Islam, the Muslims believe that Allah is the creator of everything. Call it God, call it creator, call it what you like, but we call it Allah. He created everything, and He created the human being, so He's in the best position to know what is right and wrong for that human being. Okay? In analogy, if any of you committed a crime and you had to go to court, okay? Who are you going to go to represent you in court?
Lawyer.
Yeah, lawyer. You're not going to go to rocket science. You're not going to go to like a doctor. You're not going to come to somebody like me who doesn't know nothing about law. You're going to go to a lawyer because he's in the best position to represent you in your predicament. In the same way, if Allah created everything, if there's a creator behind this creation, then surely He created it for a reason, and He's the best one to tell us what that reason is. And we can't, as human beings, okay, decide. Why? Because we have diametrically opposite views of what's right and wrong, good and bad, acceptable or not, pretty, ugly. Okay, we have different views. So in Islam, what is good and what is bad is determined by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by His guidance. So whatever comes to us in the form of shariah, and shariah is I should have defined at the beginning, is a set of rules and laws in Islam. And they deal with the individual and they deal with society. Okay, so some aspects deal with individual behavior, some aspects deal with societal behavior. So this sharia, the good and bad in it for Muslims, is determined by God, by Allah, through its primary sources. One of them the Quran, and the other one is, we call it Sunnah. It means the traditions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So now the question of the Sharia. I'm going to look at 2 aspects of the Sharia to show why we believe Sharia is not barbaric. Rather, it's a just system which brings positive results for humanity. The first thing to understand is that the Sharia, the overall sum of Islamic rules and laws which pertain to human activity, they have an aim. In Islam, they call this maqasid. It means there is an aim behind it. So once you implement it, they seek to achieve a result. What is that result? And that is to protect 5 elements of human society. 1, the beliefs within society. Number 2, the mind. Number 3, the honor. Number 4, property. And number 5, life. So belief in Islam is that Islam prohibits forced conversion of people to Islam. So under the Islamic system, when it's implied in its totality, it's prohibited in Islam to force people to change their belief. Contrary to what you may find sometimes in cartoons and Hollywood movies, okay, Muslims with a sword in one hand and a Quran in the other, and become a Muslim and chop your neck off. Yeah, contrary to that belief, Islam prohibits. Okay, it does not allow the Muslim to force anyone to embrace Islam. It encourages debate and dialogue, but it doesn't permit forced conversion. It also does not allow you to slander the beliefs of people who live under the Islamic system. So if, for example, someone's a Christian, he's Jewish, he's Buddhist, Islam prohibits you from slandering their beliefs. Okay, so you can't, make joke of their, if they believe in Hinduism, something, their idols. But you should encourage, like I said, the dialogue and debate, and to make them think about their beliefs and think about Islam, but not to insult their gods, or to say something which is negative. On the issue of mind, Islam prohibits all types of intoxicants, within its society, and intoxicants which alter the way you think. So you smoke weed, yeah? If anybody here smokes weed, you ain't smoking weed under Islam, yeah? Because it messes up your head, irrespective of what you say. It may send you to sleep, but it definitely messes up your mind. So there is no intoxicants in Islam, and everything else. Obviously, once you go higher up the classification, there's no discussion about whether it messes up your mind or not. It's pretty clear. Honor, slandering and lying about people is punishable in the Islamic system. So somebody walks around and said, you know what, that person, they're like this, and this girl's like that, and that guy's like that. It's pretty common in colleges and universities in this country. Okay, people go around saying, she's like this or he's like that. This is prohibited in Islam, and if in the public domain somebody was saying that about anybody, they would be punished. So it protects people's honor. Property, obviously any crime whereby somebody's property is taken in wrongfully, whether this was in a civilized or an uncivilized manner. What is civilized? Mortgages is where somebody takes what is owned by somebody. Okay, insurance, you pay and pay and pay and pay and pay, and you take nothing back. Okay, so Islam prohibits anything to be taken from someone which belongs to them, and it's always is protected. And obviously life is pretty clear, unlawful killing. So the aim of the Sharia is to protect these things in society. The aim of the judiciary in Islam, is what I'm going to touch upon, is to prevent crime. Okay, is to prevent crime. It's not to punish people. It's not designed to see, look, how many hands can we chop off in 1 year? Okay, we got 100 this year, let's see if we can get 200. This is not the aim. The aim is to prevent crime. And the punishment serves as one of those mechanisms, okay, which is a deterrent. You imagine somebody tells you, look, you steal anything, and by the way, when you steal something in Islam, it's not like somebody takes this pen from this room and, you know, like in Aladdin and these, you know, somebody's there with a sword and chop your hand off. It's not like that, yeah? It has to, there's a criteria. There's a criteria you have to meet. It's quite stringent, yeah? But you have to meet that criteria, okay? So it's not a case of just chop somebody's hand off or anything, yeah? You took a mask out, you've had it. So, that criteria has to exist. So the idea is not to punish people, the idea is to avert the punishment by having the sufficient deterrence in society. I'll give some examples in a moment. This is contrary to the judiciary in this country. Let me give you some statistics that came in The Guardian online. In the UK, for example, the system is bringing to justice only 3%, okay, of offences committed. Punishment does not alter the behaviour of repeating offenders. This was a conclusion of a survey by The Guardian. The courts are still not equipped with powers to attack the problems which generate crime, with the result that they continue to send too many defendants into custody. Courts continue to experience delays. 24% of prisoners are not delivered to court on time. 52% of civilian witnesses come to court and do not give evidence. And 64% of prosecution witnesses come to court and do not give evidence. Okay? And 52% don't turn up at all. Okay? 44% of fines are unpaid, and up to 40% of community punishments are unserved. Now, I want you to think just for one moment when you think about the punishment system here. Okay? Imagine it's the first crime that you committed. Okay? And forget murder and all that kind of stuff. Let's say you stole something. Okay? What's the worst that's going to happen to you? You may get a caution, and you may spend the night in a cell. And it's a known fact that most criminals that go into the prison system, when they come out, they learn some new skills. So if you knew how to break into, okay, a Vauxhall Vectra, when you come out of prison, you're going to know how to break into a Lamborghini. Okay? Because people have learned and they develop these unsavory skills within prison. And these are facts that you can read about. So every secular nation where man is deciding what is right and wrong, we find that crime rates are always going up. And at best, I want you to listen to the politicians. You know when they're in the House of Commons, okay, every week, the Prime Minister's question time? Okay, not like little kids, isn't it? Yeah, no, you didn't say, yes, I didn't say it. Yeah, the only thing they're lacking is not putting faces at one another. Everything is like kids, isn't it? Listen to what they say whenever they talk about crime. It's not that crime is coming down. The rate of increase in crime has decreased. So they want to fool the public. So crime is always going up, but the rate is going up has now decreased. As if though that's going to make somebody who's been robbed feel any better. Great, I'm not that statistic this month, yeah? And we know that crime is going up, okay? There are areas in this country you cannot walk in. Even the Home Secretary, Jackie Smith, when she was the former, she said that there's places in London, I would not walk at night. And I'm sure, I've never been, this is the first time I've been to Nottingham, yeah?